Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well and welcome back to Whiskey Wonders. And today I had something initially planned, something else in fact planned for this week, but what I came across is one of my favorite new pastimes, especially with regards to finding rare and hard to find and frankly prohibitively expensive whiskeys, is a rare whiskey auction put on by one of the most well-known, most well-distinguished, and most prestigious auction houses in the world, that is Sotheby's. Now, I mean, some of these bottles go as little as $800, which, you know, seems like normal human, mere mortal levels of whiskey bottles. But there are some bottles that are basically going to sell for $500,000, which is crazy, and it's also pretty exciting. Now, so I guess a couple times a year, Sotheby, that's the same people who sell things like Italian villas, Bugattis, Renoirs, Manets, Monets, Picassos. Those same people, they sell the fine art of the whiskey world at their auctions as well. Now, also, before we get to it though, I want to say thank you to all of you who tune into these videos on a weekly basis. It is just really great to have you a part of this channel and to help our little whiskey community in our little corner of YouTube to continue to grow. It's just so amazing to see your comments, the discussion, the comments about the prices, availability around the world, and the underhandedness that goes along with this frenzy whiskey buying environment that we live in this country and abroad. So again, that is just great. Also, if you do like these videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And in fact, I think you got to hit the little button to notify you when these videos come up. And that way you can get notified when my newest videos come out. All right, so thank you again so much, everybody, and let's get down to it. All right, so let's start with number 10, lot 5307. That is Blanton's. Now, the first bottle I'm interested in, of course, is going to be the most popular and probably the most hyped, which I guess explains why it's in this auction, because it is the most value is a set of 8 bottles of Blanton's. Again, lot number 5307. This is Blanton's original, so it's a single barrel. It's not any sort of special version of Blanton's. But the catch to the set is that they have all the letters put together that spell out Blanton's, which is kind of a little collection that Blanton's lovers try to get. So in this case, it's all done for you. They're all in the same place, and they are actually all from the same barrel. Now, each bottle comes with original packaging as well as velvet bags. There is no word if you get the fishnet ones, because I like the fishnet ones too. And these bottles were dumped on 3/29/2021 from barrel 195. So again, they're all from the same barrel, which would make them octuplets? They're octuplets. The high and low sales price before the auction was estimated to be at $800 to $1,200 for the full set. So that's how much they thought it would go for. The final sales price for the collection ended up being $2,500, which is well over the estimated high price, which again, as we look at these bottles, will be more the rule than the exception. So it went for $1,300 over the estimated high price, or a percentage, that is a whopping 108% over the estimated price. That comes out to, if we narrow it out for bottles, that comes out to $312 per bottle, which is kind of a lot considering I got one at Costco the other day for 45 bucks. But it does have all the letters. They are all from the same barrel, and you're getting 8 of them at a single time. So instead of having to go around and spend time to, you know, try to make relationships and figure out how to get the bottles. So the question is that worth a potential 7 times the price plus whatever it is, plus the hidden cost and tax? I'm not so certain, but it is pretty obvious why resellers right now are so rabid for Blanton's, because, I mean, it could be resold for a 7x profit. I mean, still better than putting your money in Dogecoin, right? All right, so next is the number 9 on this list, which is another whiskey that I think has really been recently hitting here on the West Coast, and at least in its lesser forms, is the Elijiah Craig single barrel 23-year-old. In fact, I was lucky enough to get a 6-bottle haul of Elijiah Craig that had the toasted barrel and a couple of others, which I think are a great way to get a feel for Elijiah Craig as a whole, what I have not tried yet. But either way, this lot includes 6 bottles of the 23-year-old Elijiah Craig single barrel. The lot number on it is 5318. And it was barreled in April of 27th, so April 27th of 1990, and has an ABV of 45%, which is really sort of underpowered considering the whiskey and the age. One other interesting thing to mention here is there is the word Elijiah, which is a word I had never seen before, and it says Elijiah very top shoulders. And I had to look this one up, And I looked at the definition, and maybe you all know this one, but I definitely didn't know. But it's an interesting word because I guess what it means is a term to describe the evaporation or the leakage from the bottle. So it appears that there's some very minor evaporation or leakage from the bottle, which is sort of expected after such a long time. Now, the estimated price for the Elijiah Craig single barrel 23 6-bottle set was at $2,400 on the low side, and then on the high side, $3,500. But what it actually ended up selling for is $4,000, which is $500 more than the high estimated price, and percentage-wise, that's about 14%. So it's not as big as Blanton's, the markup, obviously, but it's still not too bad. This means that the bottle price comes out to $666, and you can insert your evil quote here. Overall, I'm not sure that it'd be worth paying $666 for a bottle. Maybe for Halloween, right? I guess unless you're really into Elijiah Craig. Now, myself, I haven't yet tried any of the haul that I got for the Elijiah Craig, which we did a little while ago. But once I do, and if I like it, I kind of my approach is to work my way up. You start with the cheapest one, see if you like it, then keep working your way up. And if I get to the Elijiah Craig 18, which I have now, and I like it, it would be something to consider to get the Elijiah Craig 23, although 6 bottles is kind of a lot. All right, so the next one is Lot 5317 Eagle Rare 17 years old. Now this number 8, this is one of something that I may actually, or I had tried to consider buying on, because I really like the standard Eagle Rare. I think it's a label within the Buffalo Trace family that I'd be willing to climb the ladder on. And, start with the bottom one and go to the 17 and the other ones above that. And for whatever reason, the Eagle Rare 17 is crazy difficult to find. So seeing it here for, quote unquote, a reasonable price. And by reasonable, I mean, yes, it's expensive, especially considering the normal Eagle Rare is $30 at Costco. But you could still drink it on a nice occasion and not feel like you're squandering someone's college fund away in value. Anyway, this one specifically is obviously dated 17 years old. It's ABV'd at 50.5%, so it's definitely going to have some kick to it. And it was released in 2019, and it has a Japanese import sticker. I know that happens a lot, and some of the really, really allocated bourbons seem to be a lot easier to pick up in Japan. I don't know, maybe it's because foreigners have been banned from Japan for the last couple of years, and so they're just stocked up on it, or who knows. But you see that a lot. Now, there is a slight uliage, there's that word again. And the bottle code on this one is L192410117, quotation mark, 00M. The estimated price range for the Eagle Rare 17 was between $800 and $1,000, which at first glance, I hesitate to say is reasonable. That is, something that you would expect to pay, at the current market prices for Eagle Rare 17. So it might not be that bad. It's 750 milliliters, so it's not those silly Euro 70 milliliters where they steal out of your 50 milliliters, or however much that is in ounces. But of course, like most of the bottles on the list, it's sold for a lot more than even the high estimate. So the Eagle Rare 17 sold for $2,125, which is $1,125 more than its estimated high price, or percentage-wise, it's 113% over the high price. So that's quite a markup. Now, this price, I'm not sure I would even bid on it, but it is so exceedingly rare, at least here on the West Coast, that it might be worth it to buy and to drink, which I would do, because I don't want to be one of those old dudes or people like that who have a bunch of unopened, amazing whiskeys being sold at their estate sale. That's just not something I don't want to do. And the wife is not going to drink it all. And obviously, this person is probably actually drinking this whiskey because where the price he paid for it is, I don't think there's much room or profit left if he was going to try to flip it and resell it. But, for the price, that extra $1,125, it would be hard to justify. Okay, so number 7. So that's Lot 5337, Old Fitzgerald 6-year-old. All right, so this next one is one that is on my hunting list that I've really been having a difficult time finding on the West Coast. So it may be something that it might be something that I would be willing to consider when I first saw it. But then when I start looking at the specifics, you start to realize it's pretty quirky, at least in comparison to the modern whiskey buyers, even the modern Old Fitzgerald. So this is the Old Fitzgerald 6-year-old whiskey. It was distilled in 1965 and then bottled in 1971. So most assuredly, this is a bottle from a gentleman's estate where he kept putting off drinking it. He's like, I'll just, it's too nice, I don't want to drink it, until, one day it's too late. And now his wife and kids sold off because they only drink hard seltzer or White Claw or whatever. But it is quirky because it comes with a saddle type device to help pour it, and also the fact that the bottle is a 1 gallon measure, which I don't know, I haven't seen a 1 gallon bottle of liquor since my last trip to Tijuana, where they sell tequila in all sorts of weird measurements, massive measurements. But it was distilled at the Stitzel Weller Distillery and has an ABV of 50%. The estimated sales price on it was at $8,000 on the low side, up to $12,000 on the high side. So, you know, seeing the price, maybe I wouldn't consider buying it, especially considering the sold price was at $15,000, which, you know what, actually percentage-wise, if I'm gonna try to rationalize this in my head, percentage-wise is not that much over that high estimated price. It's only 25%. But in dollars, that is $3,000. So it's a bit much for a 6-year-old whiskey, although it does come in the gallon and it's got the saddle and it's got the vintage side. So to put that in modern measurement terms, let's see here. So if you bring out the old iPhone here, it's 3,785.41 milliliters in a gallon. Divide that by 750 milliliters, which comes out to 5 750 milliliter bottles. So that comes out to $2,971 per 750 milliliters, which is that's a lot. That's a lot of money, right? But I definitely think it'd be a cool piece to put in your bar. But I mean, this is just another whiskey that is probably at this point never ever going to get drank. It's just going to change hands each time the owner dies and go to the next estate sale for the price, which you know, at that price, I think I'd rather just hang up a Ducati in my bar to add some flair rather than, you know, a jug of this one. All right, number 6, lot 5021, the Macallan Queen's Diamond Jubilee. So for the next whiskey, I'm going to step out of my typical myopic view of just, you know, thinking about bourbon and going to wade into the Macallan's Queen Diamond Jubilee, which is a Scotch. It's lot number 5021, and as it sounds, it's a bottle of Macallan's whiskey that was specifically meant to celebrate the Queen, that's Queen Elizabeth Windsor II, Diamond Jubilee. Now, for those of you who are not monarchists, including myself, this is the Jubilee before the one that she just celebrated. So this is the one that happened in 2012. The bottle is 700 milliliters, which makes me sad. So it is smaller for the European market, and there is no age statement on it, but the ABV on it is at 52%, which is noticeably higher than a lot of the standard Macallan whiskeys. Now, obviously, this whiskey is obviously really going to be a collector's piece rather than something you would actually want to drink. It has a nice attachment to a point in time and a point in history. I mean, this is probably another whiskey that is more for show. The only time I can imagine really drinking this would have been on the weekend where they were actually celebrating this specific Jubilee in 2012. Now, I know this time around, the weekend that they are celebrating the Queen's Jubilee right now in 2022 was just a drunken debauchery for 3 days in England or in Britain or in the UK. I don't know which one's which. So it would be cool to drink it on that occasion. But other than that, it's just going to be a nice piece to have in a pub-themed bar, or if you are a Macallan lover and you got all the other ones and you want to have something unique to go along with it, because it demarcates that point in history. The estimated cost, the high and low on this one, was at $3,500 on the low side, and on the high side was at $6,000. But the sales price is really sort of off the chart. It went under the gavel at $11,250, which is $5,250 over the highest asking price on the estimation, or that comes out to about 98% higher. So I like it. Look, I like it. I like it as much as anyone who's not into the monarchy could like the monarchy, and you know, so on and so forth. And God save the Queen, right? But don't get me wrong. You know what? I'm American, and I would definitely take something else for $11,875. Something else that would be more maybe bourbon focused. But I did like this one. I thought it was very interesting, and for this price, I would definitely let it fly. Maybe I would take it as a gift if I ever got knighted. You know, Sir Whiskey Wander sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I would spend the money on this one. All right, number 5, lot number 5308, which is Blood Oath Pact number 3. So moving along swiftly here, we can finally get into the top 5 whiskeys that I'm really interested in this auction. Now, most of these are probably not ones that I would ever be able to afford or be able to convince the wife to let me buy, especially because they get to prices that are over $100,000 per bottle. But you know what? Hey, A guy can dream, right? But this one specifically, this number 5 is lot number 5309, which is the Blood Oath. And one like this was actually available a couple weeks ago here at one of the Costco's. They only had like 2 bottles. I just missed it by an hour. I was pretty bummed out about it, but it's good to see that it is available here. And you know what? In fact, I wonder if this is one of the ones that I missed. No, I think that was PACT 5. All right, either way, it's ABV'd at 49.3%, and these come in the original shipping carton, which I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but I do know I do like for sure having the box and the crate and all those accoutrements that come with the bottle. I don't know if that's silly. I think other people like that too. And the Blood Oath is relatively unique because it is finished off in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels, which gives it a very unique flavor to the already very high quality whiskey. As you can see here, there is a minor ullage. I just like that word, ullage. I'm going to say it over again. And it comes in a 750 milliliter bottle. The sales price estimates the high and the low are actually not too bad, as the price ranges from $250 per bottle up to $450. So that seems, actually human prices. But the actual bid price that it came out to was much, much higher. It sold for $1,000, which, doesn't seem like a reasonable price for this bottle. I mean, this price is essentially selling for $550 over the high estimated price, especially when the MSRP at Costco is maybe $70, $80, something like that. So percentage-wise, it comes out to 122% over the high price. And needless to say, I'm interested in getting maybe 2 of these bottles, but at $1,000, I'm definitely going to be out. Now, not to be afraid of being accused of redundancy, this next one was another one that I had considered trying to bid on. Because, I mean, if you're going to try to bid on the 17, and if you do win it, then you might as well at least try for the 20. But, I mean, for the difference of 3 years, it feels like the rarity of this Double Eagle Very Rare is maybe better said Eagle Very, 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 Very Rare. Anyways, this one is 20 years old. It's an ABV of 45%, which is really not that impressive. And it's bottle number 256 of 299, which I'm not sure if the position in the run changes this value. Like, I wonder if maybe the bottles between 1 and 100 have a different flavor or a different aspect to them, rather than the bottles, the last bottles over 100, the last 100 bottles or so. The bottle code on this one is L19009011504H. And comes with a black velvet bag, so very fancy, and all the original packaging, which as well as a certificate of authenticity, which although with an auction house like Sotheby's, you probably don't have any issues with authenticity. It's nice to have when you go to sell it, but you never know, right? You never know, so it's nice to have the certificate. It has a slight ullage and has an estimated high and low sales price between $8,000 and $11,000, which is a significant step up from the Eagle Rare 17, which is less rare. It is rare. It's just not very, 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 very rare. It's just very, very rare. Now, despite all this, the sales price again on this bottle is considerably higher than its estimate. No surprise, really. I guess no one's got a shocked face on this, but it did sell for $16,250, which comes out to 48% over the high estimated price, or $5,250, which is definitely too rich for my blood. So this will have to be another bottle that I just lost after for a while, and then maybe one day I can win some sort of weird lottery and get it at the MSRP. But $16,250, yeah, that's that's not gonna happen. Now, this number 3 is one that I had to include because, well, it's just so interesting and definitely eye-catching for all of you Pappy Van Winkle family whiskey lovers. This is lot number 5354, which is basically the Holy Grail collection for whiskey lovers like myself, who maybe are considered basic, but you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. This is a double vertical set of 2020 and 2021 Pappy Van Winkle sets. So that means you get 2 bottles, one from 2020 and one from 2021 of Old Rip Van Winkle 10, Van Winkle 12, Van Winkle Family Reserve 13, Pappy 15, Pappy 20, and Pappy 23. I mean, Holy Mary, mother of bourbon drinkers, that is a pretty amazing set. I mean, this is essentially 2 of some of the most difficult bottles to find out there. And you know what? They sure do look nice, all put together. I have to admit, it's like someone planned it out that way. So if you are the kind of guy who needs to boast to your whiskey friends and family and acquaintances and basically people on the street and anyone that you find that will listen about your whiskey collection, this is the exact set that you would need. Now, the estimated price on the Pappy Van Winkle double vertical set was pre-auction estimated to going to sell between $16,000 on the low side and $24,000, which is a lot, of course. But by the time the gavel fell, the actual price came out to $32,500, which, if you think about it, for 12 bottles, it's kind of sort of reasonable. It comes out to $2,708 per bottle. So at the sale price, it means that it came out to $8,500 more than the highest estimated price, or just 35% over. So again, not that bad. I mean, really, if you want to think about it, if you wanted to piece this collection together from liquor stores or big box stores or Total Wine or wherever you might find them, and over the amount of time it would take you to do it, it may actually cost you a lot more than what you paid here at $32,500. So that being said, if I had the cash, this is one that I would definitely consider bidding on, at least the next time around. Now we're getting down to some of the ones that I am most excited about. I would actually say this number 2 is probably my favorite, but it's only because number 1 is so out of this world expensive, so out of my league, that there is no universe, even in the multi-universes, where I would end up buying the number 1. But this number 2 is sort of like a Corvette, right? It's a supercar that normal people can afford. If you work hard, you save up your money, and one day you can get a Corvette. But, you know, unless my Dogecoin goes up to $10,000 a coin, I'm not likely going to be able to get that Ferrari Monza that I got my eye on. But this is a MICHTER'S 20 is something that I think is within the realm of possibility. I was actually able to even try this one recently, and both me and the wife, we really, really liked it, which is another favorable win to maybe actually be able to buy this one and get the wife on the side too. So it's 20 years old. It's set at 57.1% ABV, and is from batch number 21L2612, and is bottle number 12 out of 687. So I do like that lower bottle number. You're not even into the triple digits yet. Now, despite probably not having much of a difference, it also comes with the original shipping package, which is great, and has the original neck tag as well, which is kind of cool. And it was bottled in 9/10/2021, so it's not that old per se, which presumably means that it was barreled in 2001, I guess. In a 750 milliliter bottles. So you do get that full amount, none of that jive European amounts, and its estimated price range from $4,000 on the low side up to $5,000 on the high side, right? Not that much. It's very doable, I think. But of course, the actual sales price on this one, you know what? It actually didn't go that high as well. It didn't go over that much. It in fact sold for $5,250, so it's only $250 over the high estimated, or 5% higher. So that's not so overwhelmingly high that, you know, it just automatically kicks your brain into, we're not buying this. So I wonder why the price is so low, considering the comparable, quote-unquote, comparable whiskeys are selling for 20 to 50 to 100% more on their prices. But maybe because it's not that old, it's because they're going to make more of it. If it had been a MICHTER'S 20 from, again, 1989, it would probably be much higher. But yeah, so I guess that's just the way it goes. But the price is doable, and, you know, if I save my whiskey budget for quite some time, but it's not on the radar, right? And next time that comes up, at least I'll kind of know what to expect, and I might even try to bid on that next time. All right, so we have made it to number 1, which is truly number 1 because, yes, it is expensive. Like, the same cost as a house expensive. And no, I'm not talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Omaha, Nebraska. This is at least a nice condo, maybe in Flagstaff, somewhere like that. Now, I would imagine this whiskey is being sold probably at the height of its value point. Because of the current drought of Japanese whiskey, it's hard to get whiskey at any levels, and there's huge interest in this one that makes it kind of justifiable for the price. I mean, if you could justify that price. So let's get the price out of the way. First, the low and the high estimates for it before it was ever sold was at between $400,000 and $500,000. The bottle, number E7D54, it comes with 2 glasses in their own cases, which is a nice touch. But the actual sales price, and again, I'm not downplaying this, but the actual sales price is below what the highest price at the auction was. The estimated price, it came out to $475,000. So it's a little bit underwhelming. I mean, again, it's a lot of money. That's true, but it's not, you know, $700,000 or something like that, which I would imagine this person is expecting to do. But that also shows that we are at the top of the market for this one as far as the range. We know where people are going to say, well, we're not going to pay $500,000 for it. But even still, the cost per milliliter, if we calculate that out, comes out to $633 per milliliter. So that's basically like a dropper, an eyedropper of it. And so that is what you would pay per millimeter for essentially King Cobra Venom if you needed it. Not that we know, I'm just asking for a friend. But anyways, so it made this number one because it is exciting that somebody would be willing to pay that much money on whiskey. And no, it's not a record. There are whiskeys that sold for much, much more. But, you know, at this amount, it's still an eye-popping number. And for me, I love Japanese whiskey. Not $450,000 love it, but I just hope that the person who did actually buys it ends up actually trying it instead of putting it on the whiskey merry-go-round where one person just passes it off to other people. That's sad, but again, I'm kind of happy that they did because otherwise it wouldn't be here, right? There wouldn't be this whiskey left over for people to admire and to enjoy now if someone had drank it back then. It'd be like if you could drink the Mona Lisa. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of gone both ways on this, but hopefully they drink it, and even more hopefully they invite me to come drink it with them, whoever they are. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching to the end, and I hope you enjoyed this bit of a whiskey daydream with me at the Sotheby's Rare Whiskey Auction. And you know what, you should check out the website, and you know there's way more whiskeys you can take a look at and their prices and what they sold for, other stuff that you might be more interested than I am. And there are actually going to be more events coming up. They do it kind of semi-annually, every couple of quarters maybe. And you can find those on the website as well, and find, you know, those unique whiskeys if you want to buy them, because I know some of you whiskey daddies out there got the cash, right? Either way, again, thank you all so much for watching the videos. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell button. That way you can get updates when my new videos come out. Because, well, I mean, it's great for the channel. It's great for the YouTube algorithm. And hey, you know what? You might even win some favor with the whiskey gods. So, all right. So that's it for me today. I'm out, and adios.